Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's show. I'm Tracy Wilson, and you are watching Unlocked with Tracy Wilson, and I'm so pleased to be here. I'm glad that you guys are here with me too. If this is your first time coming to the show, welcome, huge big welcome to you. I am glad to have you here. If it is not your first time, well, you guys probably know the drill, how this show works. We are currently going live in multiple places. You may be watching inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life group, inside of Facebook. And if you are not, you want to get yourself on over there and make sure that you join that group so that you can also hear from other industry experts on how to build a business and a life that is really going to fuel the dreams of everything that you want to do, and how you build that and you make sure that it's all thriving, your business, your family and your life. So that's what we do inside of the Success Secrets for Family, Business and Life. If you're listening to the podcast, well, thank you very much for downloading. Today is I'm going to probably share a few visuals today. So if you are listening on the podcast, please make sure that you refer to the documents down below, because they will be the documents that I'm referring to in today's show. For those of you who are watching live, no big deal. You're going to be able to see these as I share my screen. So welcome. Today's topic is how to create content that actually connects and builds authority. So I want to ask you this question, and I want you guys to actually chat back to me in the chat box, because as you guys know, this is a environment where you're able to actually speak to me and ask me questions. So I've got a question for you guys today. I want to know, how many times have you kind of wondered, why is it that some people just are able to kind of get to the point where they are seen as an expert really, really quickly, and others who actually are experts take such a long time to really make any decent kind of money or get seen as an authority in their space? Have you ever wondered that? Is that something that you guys have often thought about? Maybe even you are one of those people that I would call the unknown expert. So maybe hi Gian, hi Vicky, hi Robin, I'm seeing you guys all on here. So maybe you're actually an expert in your field, and you just, you're looking at all these other people. Maybe they're online, maybe they're in, brick and mortar businesses, and they're doing so well, and they do maybe the same similar thing to you, potentially not even as good as you, but for some reason they have just exploded, and you're still puttering along. You're still trying to figure it out. You're still wondering, why the heck is my content or what I'm doing or my business just not getting the traction and the results that I'm looking for? So I want to know if you guys ever felt like that. Have you ever wondered how that happens? Because if you have, and maybe you are somebody who's sitting in that space, maybe you're feeling right now that you're actually somebody who's an expert in your field. You've got a great message to share, but you're feeling like you're unheard, you're unseen, and you're unknown. Is that you? How do you guys feel about that? Because that is the topic and the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about today and sharing some stuff with you. So I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes, because I want you guys to actually speak to me and let me know whether or not that is that's something that resonates with you. If you ever felt that way, maybe you're not even in that position right now, but maybe you have done in the past, and you can give some insights to some people who maybe are sitting in that space right now and feeling a little uncomfortable and beating themselves up and wondering why the heck they're not getting the traction that they truly deserve to get, because they've got some great messages and they're an expert in their field. So let me know that. Chat away. Type to me in the chat box so that I can make sure that you guys are actually listening, you can hear me, and also that we're having this bit of an interactive session. So if that's you, that's what I want to cover off. So I've got a number of things that I want to go through this morning, and I'm going to cover, like I said, I want to cover how to create content that actually builds connection, that connects with your audience and builds authority, because there's a very specific way in doing this. And what a lot of people think you need to do, and I've spoken about this sort of stuff on the show previously, is you think you need to go out and you've got to build content. And so you're building loads and loads of content, and you're trying to get that out across multiple different platforms, probably sending yourself batty at the same time, trying to figure out, how the heck do I work out the algorithm on Instagram? What am I supposed to post on Facebook? How am I supposed to get a YouTube channel up and going? Should I be using Twitter? So on and so forth. So people get into the cycle of, or this mouse wheel of, I've got to create lots and lots of content. And so they start doing that, and they start creating messaging, or maybe it's how-to videos and information that they want to share with their audience, but it misses the mark. And maybe even that's you. Maybe you have been, grinding it out. You've been creating lots of content, showing up consistently, doing stuff on a regular basis, but still you got crickets. So if that's something that is kind of happening to you too, well, we're going to help you get unstuck and get off of that mouse wheel and take those, what I'm going to call the unheard, unknown shackles off, so that you can actually speak out, speak your message, stand up, stand firm, and stand out in this really crowded world of business. So, like I said, hang around. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the four components of what makes up a brand. And it was really interesting because earlier this week, I've been working with a client of mine who came to me because she has got an awesome message to share. She is an expert in her field, but she's created some stuff in the past, and in fact, she's had some people help her create some information in the past. But it's just hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't gotten her anywhere. So I'm actually going to share, and with her permission, I've asked her if I could share this, and she said, absolutely, I want you to share this with everybody because you've helped me so much and it's going to help other people. So I'm actually going to share with you some imagery of hers that we've started with. So the very first thing that I really want you guys to think about is brand. And I know that I've had a lot of people on the show as experts that I've got to come on and they've spoken about brand. But I want to talk about this because it is super important. And usually when I'm working with somebody or I'm starting out on any kind of project, I'm thinking about the brand. And what I don't want you to think, because this is what the misconception that lots of people have, is that the brand is like the pretty colors, is the logo, it's the imagery that you're going to use, it's the funnels, it's the website. It's way, way more than that. So when we're talking about brand, I want you to really think about, like, when I'm creating something, what is the look, and the feel of what you're trying to create? What is the message that I'm wanting to try and get out there? Who is it that I'm trying to reach? Who is the audience that I'm trying to speak to? All of those components come into the actual brand. And also I talk about, and I think Vicky Helm had an expert on her channel who spoke about the personas, and that was Susanna Dobro. So if you go and have a look at that session that Vicky did with Susanna spoke about the persona. So I'm talking about in your brand, you're also thinking about the persona of you and how are you going to show up, whether it's you personally, if you've got a personal brand, or your business. What is the persona of that particular, product or service that you are going to be offering? And how are you, like, what is the feel, what are the emotions that you are wanting to try and create when somebody engages with your brand? So that is kind of like starting point number one. But like I said, it's not the thing that everybody thinks. It's not just your pretty pictures. It's not just the pretty colors. It's really thinking about how you want people to feel when they engage with you. What do you want them to see, hear, feel, remember when they're dealing with your brand? Now I'm going to share my screen, and this might be a little bit tricky. But if you, like I said, if you're listening to this on the podcast, then of course you're going to see all of these documents down below. But right now I'm just going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you Laurel's brand previous to me just working with her. And we've just started on this, and I want to share it with you because it's going to give you a bit of a sense as to the kind of process that we go through and how we create this. Now, give you a little bit of background on Laurel. So she is an expert when it comes to helping people get themselves into retail shops and get their product stocked. So she works with inventors and product creators to get their products on retail shelves, Walmart, Kmart, Target, etc., etc. So high street stores. She's got a 7-figure business that she's created over time with multiple other brands. And now she's wanting to create this one. And she had the brand sort of went out there, didn't really think too much at the beginning about the overall brand of what she was going to be doing in an online space. She just got somebody to create it's got funnels for her, and I want to show you what they look like. And I want to show you the transformation process that we have taken her through, because there are 4 things that I'm going to take you guys through today that is going to help you to create kind of the essence and the content foundational content that will help you to start and kick your brand, your product, and your service off on the right foot. So if you guys want me to do that, just I want to hear from you. Let's get these comments going. Facebook's have been a little bit slow. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but some weird stuff going on in the Facebook world in terms of like being able to comment. So I realized that it might be a little bit slow today. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get this going. So we'll add this to the stream and we will just remove, we'll go single. All right, and I'm just going to remove that, move that banner for a sec. All right, goodbye you. Okay, so this is Laurel. So this is a page that was created for her. And when I show you that there's two that were originally created for her, you'll see that there's not really a lot of brand consistency. So when I look at this, I'm like, what feelings am I getting when I look at this? And I'm hoping that you guys can see that. Okay, I'll try and make it a bit bigger because I've got multiple things behind this that I want to share. So you can kind of see a lot of black. It's very dark. I'm looking at it and it's not really inviting me to do anything on her page. And there's, like I said, there's 4 things that I'm looking for. So I'm looking at, I'm going to share these all with you. It's like the brand. Messaging is huge. So when we talk about content, a lot of the time people think that they've just got to create content. Messaging is actually the biggest component of you being able to share your information out and getting your messaging right and in alignment with your brand, your offer, and your products and your services and whatever it is you are offering. So you can see Laurel's original kind of online presence was quite dark and didn't, in my opinion, didn't really give her that expert positioning. It didn't really show that she was, when I look at this, I don't see a 7-figure business owner. I don't see somebody that could help me create my business and get to 7 figures. So when you're thinking about your messaging and you're thinking about your brand, what is the promise that you are making or you're trying to make for a customer? Where are you taking them to? What is utopia for them? And then you want to create that in all of your branding and your brand. So what it looks like, your messaging, your positioning, and also in the offer itself. So I'm going to show you, I'm just going to reduce that one down. And I want you guys to also be thinking about this. When you look at this, she won't mind because I've already spoken to her about this, and this is a process we take people through. But for exercise purposes and for you to get the most out of this, I want you to also think about when you're looking at this stuff, what is it telling you? And I know it's a bit hard to kind of read the information. So again, I'm going to try. I'll try and zoom in a little bit so you can actually see. If I scroll up, like how to patent your idea without spending gobs of money on attorney fees. I mean, even the word gobs is kind of not the type of language that a 7-figure business owner would use. And again, it depends on who you are trying to attract, but the languaging and the words that we even use on a page can often tell a story about our brand and, how professional, sophisticated we are. So just be very mindful of even the words that we are using. Okay, now here's another funnel that was created for her. The same, so online presence, same business, but you can see when you look at these brands, there is no congruency. That other page was very black. This one is still quite, it's not enticing. It's not vibrant. It doesn't make me want to do stuff on this page. But you can see that the messaging on here, just by look and the words that are on the page and the way that it's laid out, doesn't really tell the story well of who she is and what she does. And you can pick that up, and you need to remember that when we're creating this stuff online, your content or any of your online, your online presence, we basically have less than 7 seconds to capture somebody's attention and their interest, which funnily enough is actually less than a goldfish. A goldfish has more attention span than the human does now because of all of the information that we are receiving and the competition that you have online. So really important to remember that. So then we've moved, so we've got those two, which, congruency, I think you guys would agree that we don't have a congruency across that. There is no consistent brand. It's not cohesive, and it doesn't really portray her in a way that makes her stand out and look like an expert and an authority in her respective field. So let me just close that one down. Now I'm going to bring in this one. So like I said, when we're starting to work with somebody, or when you're creating a brand or you're starting to put stuff out, you want to start with your branding. You want to start with like what messages, what is my positioning? Who am I going to be speaking with? How am I going to craft my messages in a way that is going to capture their attention and make them remember me? This goes across all of the things that you do. Starts with your branding, and we create this branding board. So you can see that previously it was a bit mishmash. There was no consistency. Now when we look at this, I'm just trying to make this bigger for you. We've got a Laurel Bloomfield brand. So she's got a very, unique signature to what she does. She started with giving us some imagery. So you might even start your brand off with just some images that make you feel good, images that portray you and your brand in a way that you want them to be seen, heard, and felt. And when you do that, you then can start building out, your color palette, the fonts and the adjectives that you are going to use with your particular brand. So you can see with her, we wanted clean, innovative, sophisticated, approachable, knowledgeable, and authentic. So those are the things that we're trying to get into her brand. Now that then we'll start to see that unfold in all of her content, in all of her messaging, so that when you're starting to post these things on all the different platforms that you want to be involved in, you get congruency and cohesiveness, and people start to create a memorable brand. When somebody sees those colors, sees that image of her, sees those logos, they will know that that's come from Laurel Bloomfield. So, I just wanted to show you a few different concepts of what we do in terms of being able to transform somebody from where they were to kind of, a cohesive brand that she now has. And I'm sharing this with you because this is so important to you creating content that actually builds authority. See how the difference between the two of those previously, she looked, it wasn't really instilling a sense of authority and knowledgeability, her being knowledgeable, but now it does. Now you can look at like these. Again, I'm going to try and make these bigger. Bear with me 2 seconds. Here we go. Make these a bit bigger. As you can see, we've gone from this, and if you look really carefully at these designs, the difference between the two, there is actually not a lot of difference in terms of the content that's on the page, but a massive amount of difference in terms of the look, the feel, the drawing somebody in, somebody wanting to be, it's inviting, and it covers all of those adjectives that we were wanting to get through in her brand. Now, when she starts to do her messaging, and remember that I said content is one thing, but the message that you want to give is so much more important. Your content is just the vehicle of getting your message out there. So we start with the brand, and then they start to formulate and start to look like this. And then again, we've got another example of a funnel that she had created. And we go from, that bland sort of look from this to this on the right-hand side, which is way more appealing, way more in line, using the right colors to bring out her brand. And now we've got something that looks like a multi-million-dollar business would have created it. So you really want to think about like the messaging that you're wanting to give, who is your audience, and what is it that you stand for, and you want to then get that firmly embedded and ingrained in everything that you do. So I'm going to stop sharing now so that I can jump back to, I go back here. And we do that. Okay, so that's just to show you an example of like a before and after of what we would do with a brand and the sorts of things that you can also do, because like I said, these things help you to stand out. They help you to stand out and be, when somebody clicks on your stuff, they go, wow, this person knows what they're doing. That is important. Now I'm going to get to like the 4 things. So like I said, the first one was creating your brand. The next is positioning. So understanding like what is your positioning in the market? What is it that you stand for? Why do you do what you do? What is your mission that you're trying to create? What are you trying to create? What is the dream that you're trying to create for somebody? Where are you trying to take them from and take them to? What is the niche market that you're working in? So all those sorts of things fit into the positioning space. And like I said, these 4 things are super important. Then you want to go to messaging. So your messaging needs to be on point. And I'm going to talk about this in a bit more detail in a moment, because there's some specific types of messaging content that you can create that will make you stand out against anybody else. So instead of you just creating content for the sake of creating content in the hope that it's going to hit the mark, you actually want to create your content that has a message attached to it that actually leads people to where you want to lead them to, which is obviously to your products and your services, and for them to become a client of yours at some stage. The next one is your offer. So again, and I've sort of alluded to this, it's like creating your offer. So when you're doing your content online, you want to make sure that you've got an offer, and whatever your offer is, you're kind of working your way backwards from that. You've created the offer. What is it? What is my product and my service? What am I going to deliver to somebody? And then what messages do I need to share with them that is going to get them to be interested in what I have to offer? So that's really important too, is making sure that your messaging and the content that you produce is in alignment or leads them on a path to your offer being the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And then the last one in this particular, then there's 3 types of content that you want to create. So like I said, these are the 4 things. There's the branding, there's your positioning, there's messaging, and there's your offer. So you want to really look at those. And like I've shown you, we've started the framework of that for Laurel's brand and helping her to look like she is a really professional, sophisticated, knows what she's doing brand online that is going to be recognizable over time. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is how to create your content, because again, what a lot of people think is that you have to just create content, and I'm going to try and just throw out whatever I can on whatever platform, because that's the best way to do it. That's what I've been told. Try and get myself everywhere, and eventually somebody might actually recognize me. But if you miss some of these steps, then you are unlikely to become an authority in your space. You will remain as the unheard, unseen, unknown entrepreneur. And what you want to get to is to being that sought after authority. And why do you want to become the sought after authority? Well, because then when you get to that point, you've got a queue of people queuing up, wanting to do work with you, wanting to prepared to wait, pay a premium. And you don't really have to worry about going out and trying to seek new clients, and you get rid of the peaks and troughs in your business. So there's 3 types of content that you want to be creating on a regular basis, not just all how-to content. When you do that, it creates, you don't create a reason for somebody to really want to work with you on a deeper level, because you're going to give everything away for free in your how-to content. So the first one is connection. And what I want you to think about is, when the 3 things that I talk about, if you do not have one of them in your equation, then it's unlikely that you are going to succeed. And I'm going to give you some examples of this. So connection-based videos. So you might have seen a week ago, I think it was, gosh, time flies, but I was out and I was camping. I mean, that's a connection-based video. I'm giving you some insight into my life. I'm showing you that, I'm normal. I'm just like you. That type of, they are that type of, video where you're sharing that type of information and content. You're sharing that with people. It's like building connections. It's giving them motivation and inspiration. But again, you don't want to be doing all of that type of content. You want to mix it up. And I'm going to give you some, loose percentages of how much content, connection based content should I create, as opposed to the next one that I'm going to talk about, which is this one, which is authority-based content. So your authority-based is like your belief adjustment. So we're getting people to adjust their beliefs. So it's like you might think, like I did this in here, right? You might think that creating content and lots of content on lots of different places is the way to go. However, if your content does not have the right messaging in it, you got a problem. And that helps you to build authority. But again, you don't want to be doing loads and loads of that. So I would be saying that, these what we call authority and belief-based adjusters, it's like changing people's beliefs, what they thought before, giving them a new perspective and opening their minds up to think differently, is what we would call a belief adjuster, and it will help you to create authority. And then the last one in this is exposure. So we want to make sure that, obviously when we're doing this, that we're creating exposure. The way that you're going to create exposure is, if you think about it now, what is the fastest way to get exposure, to get seen and heard? Well, it's through video. And if you think about even, podcasting is big right now. You could blog, you could do all of those things. But if you think about, the types of people that you really remember and that get paid decent amounts of money, it's not the newspaper, not the journalist, it's not the person on the radio announcer, it would be the people that are on television. It's the people that are being seen. It's that use of video. And like with all of the platforms right now, video is being, is one of the places that they want you to create a lot more video that gives you the exposure. So those three things, like I said, if you don't have all of these three things, then you're probably going to come unstuck and continue to be that unheard, unseen, and unknown expert, when really deep down that you should be that you are the expert that people should be coming to, and you are doing a much better job than potentially some of the people who are out there who have got big names. So I want you to bear this in mind. You want to make sure that you build connection, you build authority, and you create exposure. And if you think about those three things, if you have connection, you're able to build connection with your people, and you have authority, but you've got no exposure, what type of business will you have? Probably a small one. If you have connection and exposure, but you have no authority, what type of business will you have? Well, you might have loads of exposure, but you've got no business, because people don't see you as an authority. They're more likely to go and get what it is that you're talking about from somebody else. And if you have exposure and authority, but no connection, then you're not going to connect and resonate with your audience. They're not going to want to do business with you. So those are some ways in which, when you're thinking about building out your content, you start with the four things that I talked about in terms of like your brand, your positioning, your messaging. You're doing all of those things first, and you're creating yourself some credibility. And then you want to make sure that when you're building out your content, you're doing those three types of content. So you want to make sure that you're building out connection, authority, and you're getting yourself exposure. And like I've said in here, video is a fantastic way to do that. So if you want to learn more about how this works and how you can actually utilize video and even a show like this, and if you are someone that's ready to stop being that unknown expert, that person who is sitting as, knowing that you've got something awesome to share, but you're currently not being heard by enough people, you're not being seen by enough people, and therefore you are not known, and therefore your business is not growing as fast as it could, then I would recommend that you hang around, join me on the Friday sessions, because for the next few Fridays, I'm going to be going a lot deeper into this, and I'll be sharing how you can create your messaging will be in your branding and your positioning and everything else to be on point to position you as the expert, sought after authority in your industry and your niche. So if that's what you want to do, join me. It's Fridays I'm going to be doing that. So Wednesdays I have guests on, but every Friday for the next few Fridays, that's what I'll be doing. So I'm just going to jump to the comments right now and just see what have I got going on here. So I've got a whole lot of people kind of messaging me. All it takes is all these ingredients to have a deliverable product. Yes, Scott. And if the thing is, when you're baking a cake, or you're cooking something in the kitchen, and you forget to put one particular ingredients in, and you go and taste it and it just is off, it just doesn't taste right. It's like that. There's a process to this. There is a way in which you do it. If you get it wrong, or you put the things in at the wrong time, or you miss an ingredient, then their cake or your baking, it just doesn't taste good. So we want to make sure that, we're putting all the right ingredients in at the right time, so your souffle rises and it doesn't end up a flat pancake in your pan. So anyway, there you go. There's my analogy for today. So I hope that you found this session useful for you. I've gone pretty quick. I've covered a lot of stuff. I wanted to just kind of lay it out there and give you guys what's going to be happening on the Unlock show over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be teaching people how to go from that unheard, unknown expert to becoming an authority and somebody who people want to do business with over the next few Fridays. So please join me for that. Let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in. I want to know, because I'm about to, unleash a whole heap of really valuable information for you guys and share with you how I've done it over the next few Fridays. And if it's not something that, you want to see, well, I'll change it up and I'll do something different. I won't waste my time and your time going there. So let me know. I want to know today. Put it in the comments. Tell me, is that something that you guys want me to talk about and would love to hear? Again, the messaging is how you're going to go from being that unheard, unseen, and unknown expert to being the authority in your space, the sought after authority. How are you going to do that? And I will share it with you. So I'm going to leave it at that for today. It's been, I can't believe how fast this year has gone. Lots of people have said, well, it's been nice to slow down and just, this COVID time has, really given me time to settle down and smell the roses. I don't know about you, but for me, it's been like full on. I have not stopped. And in fact, I just can't believe that we're in August and we're going to blink and it's going to be Christmas. So, it's, we have no time to waste. If you've got a message that's sitting inside of you waiting to be unlocked, now's the time to go. Do not wait. Do not wait for you to be perfect. Just get that message out there. Follow me along the way, and I will lead you to the things that you need to do to start getting your message out there and start being heard. So that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to thank you guys for being with me today. And like always, this show is all about living your life unlocked, because as you know, there is just no other way. See me back here on the Unlock show. I'm Tracy Wilson. Pleasure to be with you. Back here again next Wednesday. See you guys. Bye.